I think all of the vegans here have probably heard before people saying, you know, I would support what you're doing or I would do what you're doing, but it's extreme. And to me, what is really extreme is breeding billions and billions of animals into existence to slit their throats for products that we don't need. What is extreme is when we forcefully impregnate a dairy cow year after year, take away her baby. If it's a male, here's a waste product. If it's a female, she will be condemned to the same life as her mother. To take day-old baby chicks and throw them in a grinder because they're male and they can't produce eggs, that is extreme. So veganism is not extreme. An abolitionist stance is not extreme. It's just the moral baseline. And in some senses, veganism can be seen as extreme, but only because all issues of injustice have to be extreme. When it comes to sexual assault, for example, I am extreme in my views. It is always wrong. I'm not going to go to someone who abuses another person and say, could you maybe do that in a bit of a nicer way? Could you maybe not do that on Mondays? We wouldn't go to a prison and speak to a serial killer and say, could you maybe just kill one less person a week? Because it's an issue of justice. And as soon as there's a violation of the rights of another living being, we have a moral obligation to say that we need to abolish that. And that is where we stand. To use an analogy from Earthling Ed, so if you're walking down the road and you see someone beating a dog with a stick, you essentially have three options. Option one is to grab a stick and join in beating that dog. That option one is non-veganism. That option is contributing to animal cruelty. Option two is realizing that violence and that inherent cruelty is wrong and walking past. That option two is veganism, saying I'm not going to contribute to that anymore, I'm walking away. Option three is trying to grab the stick away from that person and telling them what they're doing is wrong, and that is vegan activism. Now I find that analogy really useful, but I would extend it to be more kind of applicable to our daily life. And so that in the society we live in, it's more like we've been born into a town or a city or a world where everyone is beating dogs with sticks. Your friends, your family, your loved ones, they are all beating dogs with sticks. We've been raised to normalize that violence and to say, this is a thing that we do every day. And not only that, when we celebrate birthdays and religious events and any happy occasions, we do it by beating dogs with sticks. And if you can imagine a world like that, I'm sure every single person in this room would not want to contribute. At the very least, you would break down and cry, you'd get angry, you'd walk away. That is the bare minimum, and I'm sure everyone in this room would do more than that. Not only would you not contribute, but you would want to do something about it. And if you can imagine everyone in your life doing that every day, that's where the social pressure comes in that makes veganism hard sometimes. Because when everybody around you is engaging in this act of cruelty that is so obvious when you make that connection, but so ingrained in our societies, it becomes so hard to remove yourself without being ostracized. But if you think of a situation where it was dogs, we can all recognize that we would feel a moral responsibility not only to not engage, but to say something. Most of us would grab those sticks. Most of us would say, you cannot do that. None of us would say, could you maybe hit that dog a little bit softer? So I hope that today, those of you who are not vegan will consider going vegan as the very minimum. And those of you who are vegan, get active. And if you are active, get more active. Because the animals that you see here today are not unlike the millions and millions of others who will never make it to a sanctuary. And if we don't speak up for them, then who will? And it might seem daunting trying to think, but how can I be active? How can I be a voice? I don't have the personality to go and write a book or open a sanctuary or do a talk. But there is something that everyone can do.